oh, this is a young Jeff out here. I didn't know. Also today, I would be remiss if I didn't thank him for making you, because if he made anything better.
I hope he kept it for himself.
Don't be trying to steal my. I hope he kept it for himself. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. I was trying to get the yams. I did like that.
All right.
Mr. Podcast, where we believe in every season of life, especially marriage. You need to laugh, learn, and love. I am your host, Mr. aka Jeffrey Mr. Right beside me is my wife, the mother of my two children.
15 years of
15 years.
Mrs. Mr. aka Dana Mr. And together we are the
Misters. Yeah. I'm happy I'm celebrating today because it's coming off of officiating my first wedding.
Of your sister. Or your
yes, family.
My sister.
Yes,
family. Yes.
So I was able to see somebody not married walk through the burning sands of marriage and get into their side. So,
yes. And how did it make you feel? Because you've been knowing Naja since she was like a child.
16 years. So I remember being little. So Naja and Broderick, they're listening right now.
So she was like, what, 9 to 10 when you came?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now to be on the other side of this is it's one of those moments of life that you look past on. So
and she got you a shirt.
Yeah, she gave me a shirt.
I was ordained online.
Can you see this on? If
the wedding will be fine.
I was ordained online. The wedding will be fine. And it's so true. It turned out really good. We did about 10 hours of premarital counseling coming into it, so it was great. They enjoyed. I mean, it's what you needed.
What you
needed. Probably. It was like you're not going to Disney World like that, but it was a good. It was a good feel. It was a good something that I've had a passion to do. So I'm glad that they were my first one to go across the sands there. So salute to them, newlyweds. Welcome to this journey.
Woo!
Yes, welcome to this journey. And so one thing I told them was like, being prepared for the wedding is good, but being prepared for the marriage is great. Pew, pew, pew. Did you hear what I said? So salute to them and salute to anybody else that's joining this fraternity, sorority, or group that we're in right now. And salute to the new listeners, people who are watching for the first time. Thank y'all. Listen, we talk about life, real relationship stuff. We are not experts. We are not perfect. We try to show transparency as much as we can so we can help y'all, help us to help you in the midst of this. And every episode we like to laugh, learn, and love. So if you have not, please like, subscribe, do all those other good things. If you watching, listening, or whatever, tell somebody else about this, man. So today we're talking about that experience, that first experience. So Naja and Broderick, they just got married. We got a chance to do that. Your mom's last child going through the marriage rounds of this. So
because my brother got married last month in July.
2 weddings in 2 months.
Yes.
So July, August.
Never would have made it.
So I know your mom and dad are going up, Papa and Gigi. So we made it through there, and today we're just talking about the vows. Talking about getting a deeper look at the vows. Salute to some people who wrote in saying, hey, can y'all talk about these vows. And so a lot of us get into it. The wedding day sometimes can be something that is just, it's a beautiful rendition, and we get dressed up at night, and then you wake up the next day on the beach like, who is this joker snoring? What did I just sign up for? So really looking at the vows and seeing what's in it. What did we agree to when you get there? And you single, you dating, you like, I want to join this little
marriage. And so for those who got married, do you have buyer's remorse?
Yeah, you like,
because a lot of times what can happen is if you don't prepare, if you don't go through intense marriage counseling, something like that, like most of the time people are definitely excited for the marriage, for the wedding, for the big day, because that's what you dream about, right? As little kids, you forgot to set the mood. Yeah, set the mood. But a lot of times you're so excited. A lot of people dream for their wedding wedding day would be, especially like from little girls on up, right? So you think about this day and you imagine what it could be. And so especially when you get proposed to, like, you may forget about, okay, there's something comes after this big day. You know what that is? It means you are spending a lifetime journey for this person. So a lot of people wake up because you're so excited about the wedding day, and then you be like, wait a minute, what I got myself into? Like, the wedding day is over because now you don't have nothing else to look forward to as far as like planning for that big day. So what's next? The real work starts.
Yeah. So a lot of people are just pushing to get through the day, right?
Yeah.
Everything is just been a whole.
You buy this dress and all of that stuff. The party and the drinks and you're getting the look forward to like the troops for the bachelorette party and the bachelor party and the bridal showers and all of that stuff. And those things are great. They are amazing. Like, we had a ball for both of my brother and my sister, right? But the thing about it is, one thing that we really wanted to hone in on, and I'm so grateful that they took it seriously, was the premarital counseling part. Like, I know Josh and Jess went through it with Pastor Green at Brown, and so my brother, Josh is my brother, so it was intense and intentionally, right? And then Naja and my sister and Roger, my brother now, went through it with Jeff, and so it's kind of like that premarital counseling part is so important because it really sets the foundation for your marriage, and even post-marriage counseling if you want to do that as well, because it sets it sets the tone for your entire marriage. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask the people listening and watching right now. Did you mean all of your vows when you said I do, I will, I whatever you said on that day? Did you mean all your vows? So did you mean all your vows? Yes.
Yeah, because we did the traditional vows.
Yeah, we did.
But we also we wrote our vows as well.
I got my vows with
yes.
me today.
And he's such a show off. He wrote his vows. But I remember my vows. I remember vows. So
what we're gonna do today is we're gonna recite our vows again to each other.
Okay, Lord. See,
you
did not tell me this.
I told you in the pre-meeting.
No. When I was asleep. I was tired. I was tired for this weekend. But I would say this, though. I really want to say this, though. Like, we did the traditional vows. And what I love, but, like, both siblings, it's so amazing. They both did the traditional vows. But they also wrote their own vows to each other or whatnot. So we're going to talk about vows. But I think we should really look into. But I remember my vows. Like, although I don't have them in front of me, like somebody else who want to be a show off and a kiss up. Like, but I remember because I meant what I said, and I've been holding true to my vows.
I'm all about accountability. I kept this paper as accountability. If you go back and watch the wedding and see what we have, I think it's on YouTube. Put it on YouTube just in case the VHS. I was back in the day.
I can go to that and I can just play it here.
You had a CD from that point though. So shut up. So the questions, we want to kick off with this right here. Did you mean all of what you said in your vows? Talking to us, talking to you. Did you understand them when you gave them? Or was it just something, you know how you start doing the Pledge of Allegiance back in school? You Pledge of Allegiance. Or is it like that, or did you really think about what you were saying? And single folks, do you know what you signing up for if you are to sign up? If you were to get married next year? Some of y'all already get, some of you all have reached out to us and said, hey, I'm getting married next year. Thank y'all. I'm just start following y'all on YouTube or on Instagram. So thank y'all for that. This is the real meat of it, though. We want to see, did you really mean it? Did we really mean it? We were young when we got married, too. We were what, 22?
22, 23.
23. So getting there. And
it's so crazy because, again, it's amazing how life repeats itself because, like, Josh them were even younger than us. Like, they're, 21, 22?
Yeah, about
and then my sister, and then you know what I found out this weekend? That Roger is actually younger than Naja. My sister Naja, they're like, Roger is young. I didn't realize that. So we was just talking about, again, how God ordained everything. Because my sister is like 26 and then he's 25, So I was like, oh, that's so cool. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think, though, is the hardest part? So, every episode, let me kick it off with the thing, right? We laugh, learn, and love. Sing it with us, laugh, learn, and love. Sing it with us, laugh, learn, and love. Hey.
Why black folks? Why we always have to do a beat? We got to put a beat for everything.
I'm sorry. We got to put a little season on it.
Yes.
So yeah, respect that. But So, what was the hardest part of vows for you? Or what do you think the hardest part of vows is for people who agree on their vow? What do you think is the hardest part?
You talking about the traditional vows?
Yeah, just traditional vows.
Probably the sickness and poor part. So I think sickness and health, for rich or for poor. Like, I think the sickness part and the poor part, because people love good, right? We love when things are going great and good and all of that stuff. So, people love when people are healthy, right? Yeah. And people love when you are richer.
For sure.
But I remember somebody say, I'm not saying that in poor part. They was like...
They wouldn't go in that back.
So I believe, but you get through it. It builds character, right? But it can build character. But I think, when it just shows that, most people have, the most, one of the things what people say what divorce causes finances. And, a lot of people can't handle when their significant other is, sick. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So, so I believe those could be the two most challenging ones, the sickness part and the finance, and poor part. Yeah.
I was going to say, this is a good one. Obey. I think
that too.
Obey. Because people that's a trigger word for some people. Yeah. I'm not being. I'm a grown.
Yes.
I'm a grown such and such man. I'm a grown such and such mom. I'm not obeying nobody.
Right.
I know my mama name is out the house. I'm not obeying anybody. You're not my dad. You're not my mom. And so it can be that point about obey. So you may be listening right now. You say, what are the traditional vows? I'm going to go ahead and read those traditional vows.
Okay, go ahead and read them too.
Read those. Yep. You go. It's I blank. So I'll do. All right, my name, so you can understand. I, Jeffrey, take thee, Dana, to be my wedded husband. Wife.
Right.
I'm sorry, I had husband, wife, and all that. Sorry, my wife. Sorry, to be my wedded wife, to have and to hold. What does that mean? From this day forward, for better, for worse.
Ooh, that works.
For richer, for poorer.
Ooh, poor.
In sickness and in health. To love and to cherish till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I pledge thee my faith, or pledge myself to you, and I will at that point. It's not that long, but it's a lot chopped up into that piece right there. So just kind of kicking off there, kind of put the laugh and learn together in the midst of this right here, but just kind of kicking off just, as you look at that though, you said, what was, let's put our own thing in there, right? What do you think was the hardest for you or for me in what I just read right there, right? So, having hold, this day forward, better or worse, rich or poor, sickness and health. Did you want the little $36 I had at that point? You're like, what if he loses $36? You're like, what am I going to do?
I think for the most part we've been able to hold on to a lot of this. Okay. The worst part could be have its challenges, know what I'm saying, and sickness, when things, because sickness gonna come.
You had the corona for 3 weeks.
And sickness could look a variety of things, especially as we grow older and hormones change, and so everybody's sickness don't look the same.
What do you think about when you see the word sickness? What do you see when you close the eye? When you think of, when it says in sickness and in health, what comes to mind when you think about the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word sickness? It's not about you. No, I'm just I would do the same thing. I was like, what comes to mind when you think about the word?
It's kind of like one of the things. Sickness could be like, when you're going through hormonal changes and you're not able to perform sexually, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sure, so it could look like that. It could, you know what I'm saying? You don't think about those things when, you're not the same 20-year-old and you go into a 30-year-old, and you know what I'm saying? A lot could change, life happens and all of that stuff. Yeah. So my thing is, and of course, being in a marriage, that connection and being intimate with each other is so important, right? But what happens when you're not able to perform? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like? So are you going? So you guys got to make sure you got to go through that roller coaster or whatever to get. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that so you have to go through that roller coaster, and then but you come when you get up, when you get over that hill, when you get over that and you go down, you're like, okay, woo, we smooth sailing. So
I think most people want to know what their sickness is going to be, so you can kind of think about okay, is that something I'm willing to deal with? Because most of the time when people separate, they're like, I didn't sign up for this, so I ain't signed up for X, Y, Z. So that's a good example too. You know, like
so because you know you more compassionate. Like when your significant other has cancer, or you know what I'm saying, or they have Alzheimer's, or you know something like that. Which you know those things can be tough, right? I think about with your mom with Pawpaw, right? You know when he had Alzheimer's, dementia right now, right? So you know she was there through it all, right? She was there from the beginning, right? But you know even like for her, like you know when you know because they tried to him being in a home, right? But then it became challenging because it's a whole. That's a different beast, you know. Somebody, you know, it's the mind, right? And you know, so you know, with that, you know, she had to get support to help her. She was still there, you know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't make her less of a wife because she was there, like she was rotted out. But you know, that's when you dealing with the mind and dementia and all of that stuff. You need help, and it's okay to need help. Like you know, when I've seen significant others when. You know, with their their spouse get cancer or something like that. And I think it just says as soon as it help, you're there, but sometimes you still need that extra support to help you.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was thinking about when you think of sickness, I'm thinking of the first thing that's coming to mind. I was thinking of, I think what most people think about is just like if you just get sick, like you got a cold, you got some type of flu, or you got some type of sickness like that. They're not thinking of what you were thinking about in a sense. And so I think it's important. That's what we talk about premarital counseling and just, you know, being able
what
to
does that look like?
The what if? What if that happened? So you can think about it before it comes up. So you're not like, oh, I didn't really sign up for this. And so, especially getting married young, like you may not think about, you may see that person at the same age, like you said, things change and whatnot too.
Because it's a matter if it happened, is when it happened. You know, like I know for us last year when I was sick for like those 2 to 3 weeks,
it was 3.
You know, in the bed or whatever. You know, so you know, and like you know, you have to hold down the house or whatnot. So you know, or you know,
did you have that wrong?
I saw this meme. I saw this meme. I don't know what meme, but it was like nobody. And it says talking about. You remember last year? It was like last year. I think I had that Rona before.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
That's exactly
so I'm not gonna say that. I don't know what I had. They said it was bronchitis. Okay. So, but because I just know I was sick.
I held up in the game with this.
Yes. And for me, I'm one of those people that rarely get sick, but when I do get sick, like I'm down for the count. So yeah.
That's wrong. That's not that wrong. This girl, let me go to Whip MD and see what the Rona is. Type in the Rona and Whip MD.
The Rona, so yes.
See what comes up. So for better, is strictly that. For better, yes, I want things to be better, right? We didn't have a lot of money at that point in time. Still got a lot of money, but I mean, we're doing better than we were before. But still, you know, that's better than for worse. That's it for richer, for poor. That's that piece there. Not many folks want to sign up for poor at that point in time. And that's something we asked about too several episodes ago. I can't remember the episode it was. We were asking if your spouse lost their job, how long would you hold it down? That's a question.
Or if your spouse quit their job.
Yeah, they just I ain't working. I'm going to play PlayStation. And so, I don't know. I think there's a difference between poor and you trying and poor with you not trying at that point in time. So I think those are two discussions to kind of get into a little bit more as you think about that. 11 cheers to death do us part. Yep. So, and to love and to cherish. So, it kicks out though, it says to have and to hold, meaning in terms of the yams. That's what I was reading about this in terms of the yams. Like, what does that mean? To have and to hold. You got to hold on to something. Huh?
Right.
And you gotta give him or her something to hold on to. You see what I'm going now? You see, you're following me? You following me? To have and to hold. But it's designed for, that's something to, I was just talking to my cousin Sid about, to where this is something we can talk about on a whole different show topic. But this is something too that a lot of married men talk about too, is if for men or women, if you're taught coming up to be, you know, pure and whatnot, to now to have and to hold, is thinking you've already got a negative connotation that's coming up. And how important is that to your spouse if you're not having a hold with them in the midst, right? So to have and to hold, that's why God's saying we put you together. You see people light the candle right there, that flame you had, the flame she had. You got that one flame? Is it too hot to hold? You got that one flame? Ooh. This candle smells good too. And
I know.
you smell it? Smell
Yes,
it? Y'all
yes,
can't
yes.
smell it when you listen to
Yes.
watching. But yeah, trust us. And so, but you one flame now, or you one flesh, and you bring it together. And I don't think we really realize that, right? If I'm one flesh with you, right? I don't know if y'all watch Transformers or you watch like Power Rangers, some coming up, or Voltron, if you all like me or what like that. And so all the different pieces used to come together to make one. And so if one person got hit, the whole thing used to sparkle up. And it's the same way with us together in our marriage, to where if both of us are together, so if you hurt, I hurt. But typically, our survival thing is, okay, I have to survive for myself. And that's why when you see people get divorced all the time, they're like, I want this, I want this, I want this, this mine, this mine, this mine. And it's harder when they're saying you can't separate. Just like we did the sand thing, right? So I don't know what y'all do when you got married, right? So like we had 2 different colors of sand, and then we poured them into one glass. And they're saying, to separate that would be like to separate the sand. So some people are watching right now, like, let me separate each of them.
Yeah, but the concept is, it's really hard to separate that sand.
Damn near impossible.
It's supposed to be, especially when it's 2 different colors, and it would take you all day. Like, you got to be real petty to try to separate.
Somebody said, let me go out here and separate those sands. It's your best effort. It's still going to be portions of the other person still in your pile,
right,
that you're trying to, even in your best effort of trying to cipher between those, because it's mixed in, it's not designed. And so anything you tear apart that's being united together, is going to tear something up. It's going to tear some of yours, it's going to tear some of theirs up in the midst of what they're trying to do. Right.
Yes.
So, I said something.
Yes,
I said something there. So
yes,
you can separate that thing, yes, but you may lose a toe, you may lose an elbow, you may lose a spleen or whatever. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The Siamese twins. Is it called Siamese twins? The ones who had the same thing. They'll have surgery, to kind of separate those. Think about that as you 2 together right there, right? And separating y'all, and they'll be like, man, one of y'all gonna have to keep, you know what I'm saying? Because it'll be like their heads and necks, but a lot of times their body would be in that same bucket. So it's like trying to separate them. So some of them don't get separated. They'll just stay that way, their whole life, because it'll be too painful to separate that. I think that's what God was trying to do when He's saying, man, don't go into this thing lightly.
Right.
This is for real, for real. And so I think that's for us. If we take that same energy as we go into it, so anybody who's already there, like, well, Jeff, I wish I would listen to this episode before I got married out here. And so that's the thing that to be able to have. So, all right. So having whole this day forward meaning I was researching this too. Okay. From this day forward, it means there's a new beginning. Let that sink in for a moment right there. There's a new beginning.
That day that you are in front of everybody.
Yes. From this day forward, this is a new beginning as we kick into this point. So what happened last week? What happened last year? Let's try to work on something new it's a brand new mercy that you got in that place right there. Hello, somebody. And that's the energy we sometimes don't have, because I'm so focused on whatever happened before in the past that I can't progress in us growing together to have and to hold today, because I'm looking at yesterday instead of from this day forward. Oh, look at these vows. Look at these vows. I think if we really went in with that energy of like, you know what? If I'm separated, I'm going to die too in the midst, then let's work on whatever it is. Whether it's forgiveness, whether it's talking about difficult topics, whether it's the money issue you talked about before, whether it's health issues, and we just got to get here. And if you take divorce out of the equation, then you typically work toward something else. But it's just, in the midst of that too. So have you seen any examples like that before? Like, have you seen many examples before you got married? Because I know we got married young at that point in time. But at that point, had you seen many examples of what we've said so far? Like the having a whole from this day forward, like that?
Most definitely. Like my grandmother, my grandparents, they were married for quite some time. Auntie Janice, Uncle Ray, Auntie Joanne, and Uncle Tommy. My mom and Papa. Yeah, so like all of them are married. They still married. Exactly. So and it's been an emotional roller coaster. Your phone is beeping, but it's been an emotional roller coaster or whatnot. So and that's one thing. If marriage is in a roller coaster, you have your highs, you have your lows, you have like, if you've been on a really good roller coaster where you want to cry, you're laughing, and that's what it is, and it's a never. But fortunately, I guess it's one of those things. But at the thing parts, the roller coaster ends, right? Yeah. But with marriage, it never ends.
And most people, if they're honest, they got married maybe because they're like, you know what, I really want to get these yams from this person. They're looking good. And so I can't get it unless we go ahead and get married, right? And that's real. That's real. Like you want, that's part of it. But then they get it and they're like, oh, this ain't what it corrected, and I'm not prepared for the other side. Scripture for that was love, right? What did you think? Most of us came up with love, and so what would you define if you had an elevator definition of what love is without just kind of break it down the way? What do you feel like people think love is?
What I feel like people think love is what I feel like love is.
What people think, then you kind of sprinkle yours in.
What people think, they probably think, what most people think love is like a fairy tale.
Oh,
you know, like it's always gonna be good times.
Always, happy.
He's gonna be happy. Yeah,
hey.
yeah. So you know, it's just like it's always gonna be good and all of that stuff. But I think we're gonna talk about this going into 1 Corinthians 13. Love, it really sets the tone and the definition of what love truly is. It's patient. It's patient, Lord. It's kind. It does not envy. It's not arrogant. You want me to go ahead and read it? So love.
Do it right. Hold on. Do it right. So
okay, I got it.
So if you are listening, put it just like Dan just did. Think about what do you think about love is, and you may be saying right now, I'm ready to get out of here because this is not what I signed up for as love. So we're gonna read 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. We read a lot of weddings. You read a lot of things like that. You see people doing scripts on their arm. Is it really alive in what you're doing right now? So 1 Corinthians 13, 4 and 7. Love. Go ahead.
So love is patient.
Okay.
It is patient. Love does not envy or boast.
Hold on. You missed it. Sorry.
Okay.
Right there.
That's it. Oh, love is patient and kind.
There we go.
Yes.
So
love is patient and kind. Yes.
Pause right there.
Pause right there. Okay.
Patient and kind. Patient. You just said it already. You have to patient.
Yeah. Patient means like there's gonna be time in your marriage where you really gonna have to be patient with your significant other. I mean, because like even when you don't agree with them, huh? What'd you say?
If they gain weight, I gotta be patient with them?
Yeah.
They
lose their job. If they quit their job.
Somebody like, let me turn this
You have to be patient. If you don't agree with something, because there are going to be disagreements. One thing we share all the time, Jeff and I are two end of the spectrum, and so it's, we are, and I think you have to have that mutual respect for each other. And I believe I shared this before, where even like Pastor Ward has stated, it's the 80-20, right? There's going to be, or some people may be 90-10, right? There's going to be something about that person that you don't love. I mean, because it's just naturally, right? So my thing is, but don't focus on that 10 or 20%. Focus on that 80-90% that you love about that person. Because if you do focus on that, like I promise you, it's going to drive you insane. You know what? And that's where I think it leads people to divorce. Because they focus on that 10 or 20% versus that 80-90%. So, focus on that. And because for those who say, let me put it like this. For those who love everything about their significant other, kudos to you. I'm proud of you.
Yes,
for me, no, there's something. But
I'm
sure it's something about me.
That you talking about. You talking about just general. What you don't know about me? Let's get this out in the air right now. Hold on, my bad. I'm sorry, podcast listeners. You listen to audio version. My bad. I didn't mean to bother.
No.
But let me what?
But when I say that, is you just have to be patient with your significant other, and
being
and being kind. Well, it is something about just being kind with your significant other. Like, be sweet to each other. You know what I'm saying? Even like for me, Jeff don't like when I do this, but really that's my way of showing kindness. When I don't agree with something that he says or do, for me, it's best for me to like hold my comments. And he'd be like, no, just go ahead and say it. But I'm like, no, that's my way of showing kindness, because now I can say you may not like what I'm saying. So that's when I stop and don't say anything. And when like my thing, that's my way of showing kindness to you, because I know me and I know this mouth. See, a lot of y'all don't get to see that side of me. A lot of you don't get to see that. So when I hold myself and be reserved, like that's my way of showing kindness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and so I hear what you're saying there. On those times is where we may disagree. I'm not telling her to not stop with her point. I'm telling her to continue the point, so we could come to some type of thing. So she's saying she's showing kindness. So on those moments, I'm like, well, is there a way to continue with kindness? Is there a way to do this? That's what we're
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me get this.
So keep going.
Yeah, love does not envy or boast. We can break it up in a second.
So love does not envy, meaning don't be jealous of your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when I say that, meaning we don't want them hanging out with other people. You all want them to.
Wife. What's Doug Christie's wife on one of them basketball shows? That's exact. let me look right in the camera. I'm talking to you.
So if for those who
right by Doug Christie.
So for those who are not familiar, but I can't think of the girl name, the lady name now. But Doug Christie's wife, she basically said she does not. He can't, like when he was playing basketball and stuff.
Sacramento Kings.
So he could not interview with females.
You can't look them in the eye.
He couldn't look them in the eye.
It's like slavery.
And that was kind of, to me, kind of extreme because one thing is like, you shouldn't be envy of your significant other. You should trust your significant other enough to be like, okay, you know what? They come home to me at night, all of that stuff. So don't be envious. Don't boast. Like, don't be puffed up and all of that. Like, you do as I say and all of that stuff.
So I'll just give a quick comment on that. It's the same thing what you said. Is the fact of getting to the why. Like I would ask Doug Christie's wife, and I need to know her name. Y'all drop in the comments what this lady's name.
Christy.
No, her last name
Christy.
I don't know. Just put in Doug Christie's wife.
But I got something else.
Okay. I'll look at it. So Doug Christie's wife, and so I would say this of just there's a reason why that a person feels this way. If you're feeling envious, you're feeling whatever it is, there's a reason why, and that's why I say continue that communication of. You know what? When this happens, I feel insecure when blank. So being able to say why you feel insecure puts you at a vulnerable state because then that person could say something about it. So if you're listening to that, be able to hear that, and then let's find what works. And if you haven't done something in the past, like I know NBA players, she's probably seen a lot of NBA players doing a lot of crazy stuff on the road and stuff like that. So she's probably trying to keep her marriage together, which is not a bad thing to do.
Yeah, but it's the way you go about it.
Yeah, you're not a slave master. Don't you eyeball it. Don't you eyeball it, woman. Don't you? I mean, come on now.
But kudos to him, and I guess he realized the insecurities that his wife had, and
I think she's crazy too.
But he
Jackie
honored. Yeah, Jackie. That's her name. Yeah. But he honored, I guess, her request so and not.
She punched him. She will fight. But
and one thing about them, they stop it. They renew their vows every year too.
Listen, this man is being abused. Doug Christie, blink your left eye twice, and we were trying to say somebody.
So keep it going. So it's not arrogant or rude.
Okay, I'll get up in there. Okay, it's not
arrogant or rude.
It's not arrogant or rude. So this first thing comes to mind is pride, and that's something we all got to deal with and work with on different levels. Yours may be high, yours may be low. We all have some component of pride of trying to fight there, and pride is something that tells you that the other person is horrible and you are a perfect angel in every situation that you do. And so not being arrogant, thinking that you're better than the other person. And that's the reason why we talk about Jesus and so we all need the same grace. And I think the same grace that we ask God for, same grace we need to extend to other folks. Hello, somebody. And so many times if you've done something right 3 times in a row and they messed up, 3 times in a row, you can take onus of that. That's something we're gonna talk about in the upcoming episode, the 4 horsemen of divorce of like that's part of it too. When you start to talk down. If your conversation, look, you're so stupid. Oh my, how did I ever marry somebody so ugly? So you start to debate comments like that. It's usually a great sign of divorce in the sense of it. So not being arrogant, not thinking of yourself more highly than you ought to, or rude.
Don't put yourself on a pedestal. Now that's one thing if you're significant other put you on a pedestal, but don't put yourself on a pedestal.
You be at that puffed out, peacock, show them the pride. Show them their pride. There you go.
I don't know how to do the pride, but yeah.
Like this here. You got your chest poked out right there, your chin, your nose up right there. And so there's a reason behind it. And so looking at your own things too and trying to continue to evolve and better yourself, even if you do that before the other person does that. Like you may do it, but just extend that grace you can do. I read next.
It does. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It does not insist on its own way. So you jump.
So.
Insist on its own way.
I would say for that one, it means that you can't do it. I don't know. That was challenging for
You
me.
mean jump in?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not system its own way. It's in terms of, so this love is gonna be my way or the highway.
Yeah.
This is the way I am, so you better accept me how I am, and I'm not. And it's just the way my mom and them did it, or this is the way my dad and them did it, or I saw my grandfather and them do it, or I saw my uncle or auntie. This is the way it's gonna be in this house, and it's not a partnership. It's more of a dictatorship, and so it doesn't demand its own way. You see, I was talking to Dan about this too, about wife beaters, right? So there's a shirt called wife beaters. They all know what it looks like when you think about that. I was like, how did somebody come up with the name wife beater? Somebody must have saw a man beating on his wife with this shirt on all the time. I was like, we're going to call this shirt wife beater now. It's crazy. But the point I'm trying to make is the fact of, you see a lot of those homes to where if the woman didn't have something cooked at that point in time, or like there's no onus for there's no empathy for the other person. So it's like, I want this time. I don't care what you got going on. This is the way it should be. So if there's no, I demand my own way without any context to what your experience is. And so many of us in relationships like that, I'm not happy. It's not that I'm looking for somebody else to fulfill that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I demand you do it this way, or I'm not content with what it is. So, yeah.
I agree with all of that.
It's good. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. And you know what? This one right here really sticks out to me because don't, when your significant other do something wrong, or I told you so. That's where this I told you so stuff come in. Like, that's hurtful, because it's like, especially, I guess what I'm saying is, don't kick the person down when they already down.
Yeah,
okay. Don't especially because I think over time, especially when you've been married for a long time, you could really hurt somebody who's like, well, I told you, if you would have done it this way, then it would be there. Like, dang, they already down. Like, don't kick the person, don't stomp them down even more.
For sure.
But just definitely, speaking truth in a love. Like, I think there's a way that you could go about that, because it's a learned skill. Because a lot of times we could point out when people are doing something wrong, but do you point out when they doing something that's in truth and in love? So yeah.
So one thing skipped over here is, it's not irritable or resentful. It's not irritable. So you walking around always sour faced to the side, no matter what they do, no matter what. Have you already irritated before anything come up? You wake up, you're not grateful. That's one thing we try to do is like be grateful for things in the morning time, so you see it from that context and that lens. If you already irritable before you get started in a relationship, think back to when you were dating, right? You probably wouldn't be married to that person if you walked around irritable all the time. And then you flip, something happened some day, some year, some month, you flipped over to now anything they say or do or come by, you already like,
you know what?
You got this sour face. Show them that sour face.
But what I think about is, when you wake up, and my mom, they used to say this all the time, you must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
You need to go back to sleep and flip your tail back over, come in here, because you already mad. You come to, I didn't want no sausage for bread. Like, what? Instead of saying, oh, thank you for cooking bread, like you've already looking for something to be irritable about or resentful. Yeah. Resentment too is something. This is something we get into a whole topic about. Yeah. Because many times we're together. We're not divorced, but I still resent you for
whatever you done.
I resent you for something you said before, and I don't know. I don't have the skill set to talk to you without getting upset, without fighting, without throwing something.
You have to practice emotional intelligence for
yes, yes. Or seek counseling, or doing like we talk about post-marital counseling too, or premarital counseling. You're not married, of being able to like sit with couples now, and many times if they were talking about the topic we're talking about, it would go to another level. But because there's somebody there that's not taking sides, but just like, hey, have you thought about this? Or this is a compromise. And in those pros like that.
And another thing too, a lot of us is like, you have to practice, a lot of us need to go to anger management.
I've been fighting since elementary school.
So, and one of the things you learn about in anger management is like, you know, you may need to set like a buzzard or something and say what you're grateful for, you know, for to kick it off, you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, so, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you know, or set your buzzer if it's every hour, because a lot of times I think, you know, things that happen in our childhood or whatever, a life just to happen, we forget to be grateful, right? You know, you just forget to be grateful. So you go around being irritable and resentful. So my thing is, and you have a chip on your shoulder. So my thing is, you know, so every hour you set a buzzer, and when that buzzer go off, you say 3 things for what you're grateful for, or 3 to 5 things what you're grateful for. So when that buzzer go off, okay, breathe. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. Because it's so easy. Life, and like, I'm not saying it's rightfully so. I understand why you could be irritable and why you could be resentful, especially when you've gone through life. But we have to realize what we're grateful for, because if you don't do that, you're gonna take it out on your significant other. You're gonna take it out on your kids. You're gonna take it out on your other relationships in life. So again, practice these things. To like show why you're grateful, because my thing is, I get it. I've been there, you know. So
I just have to read a book. It made me think about what you said. It's Without Merit. Without Merit is the name of the book. Great book. One of the quotes in there was, "Not every offense deserves a consequence." The preacher. Not every offense deserves a consequence. So everything they've done doesn't deserve a certain consequence, and that's why I said, man, you
don't punish your spouse
for every single thing. Now you may need to have a serious conversation. Now they may have messed up. They may have not paid the light bill, and so now the light's off, and you having to go through that situation. But like, how can we solve this together and put ourselves in the best place? And the person who did do that fault, like, apologize, like genuinely apologizing for what you've done wrong, and then trying to come together. I think many times we're waiting for the other person to say something to us. Oh, they ain't saying it to me, I ain't saying it to them, and so I resent them for doing it, and I'm waiting for them to say something instead of engaging in what comes up. And many of us have never seen that before as we get to that place. Last thing about love right here. Ooh, this is it right here. Love bears all things. Did you say something? Love bears all things, believes all things. That means, if it's hopeless, still carrying their mom and dad. Come on now, y'all come on the show. We get them back together. 33 years? Come on now, you don't need to be out there in them streets. The dude said in that tweet, man, you ain't got the cholesterol to be out here in these streets again. These ain't the women you grew up with. 33 years, all this stuff. Hopes all things and endures all things. Did you hear that? And it's not that little butterfly. Love ain't that little butterfly that you get when you see somebody. They got the little dress on. They got the suit or something you like, or they this height or this size or this, you know, speaks this way or drives this type of car. That is infatuation. It's the difference between love and infatuation. And many of us got into marriage infatuated with somebody, and if you do it like that goes down, and sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it may take 2 years. You're like, I'm just so infatuated with them. But when the reality comes in and bills and life and kids and things come in, you need to love and like them. But love is an action verb of what's happening. It's not a feeling of what's happening. And many times when that feeling is gone, I want to be gone too.
Yeah.
B.B. King that said, the thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away.
Yes.
So,
and I think for me, this is everybody's favorite part when it says bears all things, meaning that love with God in it can handle anything. Ooh. It could take on no matter what your significant other has done, do, and everything. It could bear all things, but it has to be both people willing to work on it, right? It believes all things, meaning that, you know, you could do anything. And I think that's one thing about it is with your significant others, you could conquer the world. Like, you could do truly anything together. It is a partnership with your companion. Like, you could just say, you know what, we could do it. We could do it all. We could have it all. And so that's what I believe. It hopes all things. Like, you're so hopeful. Like, no matter what, like, I could do this. We could do this together. And then endures all things. Y'all, when I say life happens, life happens. But But when together, you can endure it all.
Did you say all things?
All things.
When you say all, be specific about what that means.
But
what does that mean?
Everything. It can encompass everything.
When you say
but the thing about it is, but God has to be in the midst of it. Because you can't do it by yourself. I can't do it by myself.
I'm ready to go.
Look, because the thing is, God has to be in it. Like, he truly does. So, yeah.
For sure. Yep. So, if it's just me, I'm ready to get on down. So, you heard what we said today, D. Brown. You was like, you didn't took it too deep, sis, bro. You didn't take it too deep right here. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
She was looking good. I just wanted to get some without feeling bad. I just wanted to get some without feeling. I know that's what you thought. Some of you thought whatever. And so now you're trying to create the wagon now after the race has already started. So these are vows. We said I'm gonna go ahead and say the vows at this point. Go ahead and give you mine.
Okay.
This is what I said back 15 plus years ago. In the name of God, I, Jeffrey Miss, I was very scared reading these the first time. I think I can do it better this time. Take you, Dana Marche Wyndham, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, look what I put in there, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish until death do us part. Also, in the company of all these witnesses, I pledge to communicate when I don't feel like talking.
You done held that. Woo, Jesus. Why you put that in there?
I was serious. I was serious. I pledge to pray in and out of season. I pledge to love you even when we don't see eye to eye. From this moment, I pledge to honor, encourage, and support you through our walk together. Dana, today is the first day of the rest of our lives, and I pledge to work at our love every day henceforth that the Lord gives us. I pledge to grow in wisdom so that I can be the best husband, the best father, I ain't had no kids at the time, and the best friend in your life. I pledge to keep you second only to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Furthermore, I promise to be the head of our household and love you the way that Christ loved the church. Oh, that boy was spitting. Oh, this is a young Jeff out here. I didn't know. Also today, I would be remiss if I didn't thank him for making you, because if he made anything better,
I hope he kept it for himself.
Don't be trying to steal my. I hope he kept it for himself. God, I wouldn't blame him. That's what I said. I was trying to get the yams out there.
All right.
That's what you for. That's what we need to. We need to normalize yam getting after you get married. I know that in creation he made you from my rib, but I know right now that he took a piece of my heart. That boy spitting. So as we enter into this covenant with God, I pledge to every day, every week, every month, and every year love you, keep you a priority in my life, and grow toward agape love. For he has showed me that true love is not selfish, but selfless. Oh, I got chill bumps on me. And now as I look into your eyes.
You remember?
Hold on. You can't steal my time. Which are the windows to your soul. I see you remember these. I want you to know that with every beat of my heart. I will love you. This is my solemn vow.
Oh, give me a kiss off of that.
Hit the camera back. Hit the camera back. Hit the camera.
Okay.
Hey,
so, here are
you
my
got your vows?
Yes.
So, see, I kept my paper, but she got hers in this thing.
Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, put it to the microphone. All right, this is Dana's vows if you're listening.
It was sprinkled.
Oh, yeah.
All these 200 or so people, and they're loud. No, no fuck over it.
Yeah, we did that thing. Take that.
Okay. Here we go.
Here's Dana's vows. Let's see. Okay.
You're not the air that I breathe. You're the sweet scent that drifts upon it. You're not the sounds that I hear. You are the music of my life. You're not the food that I need. You are the nourishment of my soul. You're not my will to survive. You are my reason for living.
Oh.
It's with you that I will experience the wonders of the world.
Okay.
It's with you that I triumph over the challenges in my path. It is your partnership that will lead me to the fulfillment of my dreams.
Okay.
It is your friendship that guides me as I grow and learn. It is your patience and wisdom that calms my restless nature. It is through God and you that I know my true self. I do not take you for granted. I cherish you. I do not need you. I choose you.
Okay.
I choose you today and witness of all the people who love us. I choose you tomorrow
Okay. You
I
put the
choose
yeah.
you in joy and in sorrow. I will choose you over all others every day for the rest of our lives. Therefore, Jeff, I cannot promise you that I will cook for you every day.
All right.
I was about to walk out right there when she said cook for me every day. I was about to walk smooth out.
But, Jeffrey, I can promise you that you would never go to bed hungry. I cannot promise you that I will iron your clothes every day. But I can promise you
I'm gonna
that
zoom
you
in.
would never go to work wrinkled. I
Cleaners.
cannot promise you that I would never disagree with you. But I can promise you an understanding heart. I cannot promise you that we will survive. But I can promise you that we will thrive. I
Survive?
cannot promise
You
you
sound cute.
that I won't make mistakes. But
Okay.
I can promise through God's love.
Uh-oh.
Somebody call him.
The devil is being.
Jeffrey, before April 20th, 2005, I lost all hope for love and faith. And God knew where that could lead me. So he sent me. He sent you to me on that day.
Hello.
Because of God and you, I have matured spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Jeffrey, my profound love for you is unconditional. I cannot imagine going through with what we're about to experience with anyone else except you. You tell me all the time that we have to have tests so we can have a testimony. So Jeffrey, mister, you are my testimony.
Ooh, you said my whole government name. All right. Mwah. All right. Ooh. Hello. So, all right. You heard the vows. You heard the vows with that. I think you did all right for yourself, man. You did all right for yourself. I tried to. This was the young ones out here in this thing. So, this is the love portion for you. We want you to pull out your vows. You got the VHS tape, you got the DVD, whatever. Pull it back out. If you don't remember, you don't have it wrote down, you don't have it saved on an email somewhere. And I want you to read those vows to each other. Look each other in the eyes. And no matter how tough it gets, I don't like them. Oh, they just be chewing so loud now. We ain't asked you about none of that. We just said get with them and you all read those vows. Be in a quiet place. You can look and hear and be focused on each other. Not read to them when they cooking or they watching the game or that. Like you are looking at each other and read those vows. And tell me, like that part about love. That's the part about it. You can't tell. You get a little bubble in that thing. You feel, I heard them yams start to move right there.
Oh my goodness. He's so out of order.
Did they get a little warm? Did they get a little...
Anyway, so yes, read your vows to each other. And
you got to normalize it. Yeah,
yes.
I'm trying to get somebody some yams.
Yes.
I want y'all to listen to this and get a little trick with that. So we love y'all, man. Listen, if nothing else, thank you. If you would like, couples coaching is something that I've been doing already. So I'd like for them to join if she wants to join in. We'll talk
We've
more
done
about
it
that.
together.
Yeah, we have done it.
We've done it together.
You want to continue with me?
Yes, of course.
But
I just didn't want to get him with my sister and.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no.
I just didn't because I don't want him
sure.
feeling like I would take her side and all of that stuff. So
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
With that, yeah, I wasn't gonna allow. We're gonna allow you in that side. At least you were on point with what I was thinking right there. So
yes,
that's good.
Yes.
So all right, we love y'all, man. Listen, every episode, thank y'all for writing us. If anything, if you enjoyed the episode, you enjoying anything, just drop a comment or something like that. Let us know. If you are listening on audio podcast, go to Mr.Mrs. MRS.MISTER. Just saying, hey, this impacted me. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm struggling with. If you have an idea for an episode, send us that too as well. Because a lot of y'all send us like, we need to get these vibes. So you're welcome at that point in time. Hope this helped. We love y'all, man. God loves you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Go and sing us out, Dana.
Oh, we doing that? Like love. Oh no.
Oh, the Mr. Mantra.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm tripping.
So look at your spouse. Even if you argue, but I hope for you to argue before the vow report.
This is somebody's like you ain't doing it.
But wherever you are, stop what you're doing. Look each other in the eyes and look at each other and say, "I like you, I love you, and I want you."
What you doing after this episode?
Alrighty. Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show. Oh, yeah.
And that's our show.
Hey, love y'all, man. Love when you still love each other, man. Get some yams. You're welcome.
You're welcome.